"I've found someone new," Marcus declared, his voice devoid of warmth. "She's moving in here, so I'm divorcing you. You'll go back to your parents' place." I stared, comprehension failing me. "I don't understand what you're saying." "I don't need you anymore," he continued, a cold smirk on his face. "I can let you stay at my family's house if you want to be a breadwinner or a housekeeper." My in-laws and husband laughed, a chilling sound. They were truly the worst kind of people. But in that moment, something shifted within me. "No," I said, my voice firm. "Actually, all of you need to leave. A life of hard work and a glimmer of hope. My name is Alara, and I'm a 32-year-old corporate executive. My entire adult life has been dedicated to my career. After college, I joined a prominent firm, and for a decade, I poured myself into my work, earning promotions and rising through the ranks. Thanks to my efforts, I became a department manager at a relatively young age. I was fortunate to have a supportive boss and a team of driven and skilled subordinates. My professional life was incredibly fulfilling, but my personal life, however, was anything but. I'd had one relationship in college, but none since I started working. Concerned about my solitary existence, a friend arranged a dinner party for me. That's where I met Marcus. He was charming, with a pleasant smile, and exuded an approachable aura. Being the same age, we found much to talk about, and our conversations were engaging. We quickly became friends, exchanging contact details and eventually going out for meals alone. Soon, he confessed his feelings, and we began dating. Our relationship blossomed, leading to a proposal and, ultimately, marriage. I was overjoyed to marry the man I loved. Shortly after, we visited his parents. His parents, Mr. and Mrs. Thorne, seemed incredibly kind, welcoming me with open arms. "Alara, it's wonderful to meet you," Mrs. Thorne exclaimed, eyes misting. "I can't believe such a beautiful person is marrying Marcus. I'm so proud of my son for bringing such a lovely woman into our family." "Mom, Dad, stop it. You're embarrassing Alara," Marcus interjected playfully. "Oh, if you really think so, you can say it." Mrs. Thorne giggled. "That's right, it's a compliment, so it's fine." His parents were as friendly and easygoing as he was. "Alara works for a big company, doesn't she?" Mr. Thorne asked. "Oh, that's fantastic. It's great to be a woman who can work hard. Will you quit your job when you get married?" "No, I plan to keep working," I replied. "Well, you have a good job at a good company, that's even better." I felt a wave of relief. Many of my friends had shared stories of mothers-in-law insisting they quit their jobs to become homemakers. My heart swelled with gratitude, thinking how understanding my future in-laws were. After meeting my family, we were married. My heart was filled with excitement for the new chapter beginning. Marcus moved into my apartment, and we started our married life together. I cherished being a newlywed with the man I adored. I loved having him home, whether we were together or after I returned from work. A debt revealed. 6 months into our marriage, Marcus approached me with a serious request. "If you don't mind, I'd like us to live with my parents." "Live together? What do you mean?" I asked, surprised. "Yes, they're getting older, and I'm worried about them," he explained. I understood his concern. My own parents were roughly the same age, but my brother and his wife lived with them, so I had no worries. However, Marcus was an only child, making his concern for his parents perfectly natural. "Does this mean we'd be living in their house?" I clarified. "Yes, it would. But do they have a room for us?" "They use every room for something or other." "About that," he said, "I think it would be a good idea to renovate my parents' house and make it a 2-family residence." 2 families? I echoed. "Yes, if we do that, it'll be much cheaper than buying a new house. We can live in a beautiful, spacious home while still maintaining our privacy, right?" It was an appealing idea. My in-laws seemed kind, and separate living spaces would minimize stress. "Yes, That sounds good, I agreed. Really? Thank you. My mom and dad will be so happy. Marcus's happiness was infectious. Later, my in-laws visited, both expressing immense gratitude. I even thought to myself that with such a warm and cheerful family, 2 separate households might not even be necessary. Soon after, Marcus and I began discussing the renovation of his parents' house. The estimated cost was around $100,000. But during our discussion, Marcus made a startling confession. Actually, I have a favor to ask. Can you pay for the remodeling? The full amount? Why? I questioned, stunned. Marcus looked deeply uncomfortable. The truth is, we're in debt. I was shocked. Neither Marcus nor his parents had ever mentioned this during our courtship or before the wedding. How much debt do they have? I asked, my voice barely a whisper. About $150,000. What? I exclaimed, the sheer amount making me shout. I had expected a few thousand, not this staggering sum. It wasn't that bad at first, but it gradually grew, he explained. And even if I tried to pay it back, I couldn't. My parents are already living on a pension. I can't pay them back as much as I'd like, and the debt just keeps getting bigger. I struggled to conceal my surprise and distress at this sudden, shocking revelation. I had no idea my in-laws were in such a precarious financial situation. Elara, I need a favor. Will you help me pay off my parents' debt? They can't afford it anymore, and my salary isn't enough either. Then won't it be difficult to renovate the house and live together as 2 families? I asked, reeling. No, that's important, so let's go ahead as planned, he insisted. You're asking me to pay for the remodeling and your parents' debt, I calculated. That puts me on the hook for $250,000. I know I'm asking a lot, Marcus pleaded, but I want to build a life with you, and I want to protect my mom and dad. It's because I love both my parents and you. I'm sorry to be greedy, but if you truly love me, please help me. I'll pay you back little by little. I was deeply troubled. Marcus and his parents had no one else to turn to. I believed Marcus genuinely loved me, but at that moment, I was completely swayed by his words. Love is blind, as they say, and I was living proof. Okay, I'll pay for it, I finally conceded. Marcus was overwhelmed with gratitude. He grasped my hands, thanking me profusely. He informed his parents, and they soon visited, profusely apologizing and shedding tears of joy. I have to do my best from now on, I told myself. I was determined to take on my in-laws' debt. However, while I had some savings, I was hesitant to pay it all at once. So, for now, I decided to pay about $30,000 from my savings and then the rest in installments. My in-laws joined us to discuss the repayment plan. I explained the installment arrangement I had just made. They told me I could do whatever I wanted. Then why don't you transfer the money directly to the debt repayment account? Marcus suggested. We're not very good at managing money, and I'm a little hesitant to transfer such a large sum. His parents nodded in agreement. Indeed, it would be cumbersome for me to transfer the money to their account and then for them to transfer it to their repayment account. And since it was a significant amount, I wouldn't want any mishaps during the transfer process. So, I agreed. Once the arrangement was settled, my in-laws looked visibly relieved. Now we don't have to be afraid of the monthly debt collection that has been really scary. Mrs. Thorne exclaimed. Dad, Mom, you should thank Elara properly. Marcus urged. Well, I can't tell you how many times I've thanked you. I can't thank you enough. Thank you so much. I'm so glad Elara became your wife. Mr. Thorne cried. I was happy that my in-laws were happy. However, I felt a slight unease. Their last words made me wonder if they saw me as a mere money-making machine. I pushed the thought aside, determined to care for my beloved husband's family. With that in mind, I began making payments. Simultaneously, we commenced the renovation of the house, transforming it into a beautiful, spacious two-family home. My in-laws were ecstatic, and Marcus's eyes lit up with joy in the new house. I, too, enjoyed cooking in the new kitchen. The remodeling was convenient, bringing me closer to work and reducing my commuting time, which gave me more free time. I planned to use that extra time to further my studies. I was spending my days working hard to pay off the debt. However, one thing bothered me slightly: Marcus wasn't helping with the debt repayment at all. When I first told him about his parents' debt, he said he would help, yet he showed no inclination to contribute from his paycheck. When I'd mentioned it previously, he claimed his salary wasn't sufficient for the payments. I'd asked to see his pay stubs to confirm his take-home pay, but he stubbornly refused. So, I had no idea how much he truly earned, but he still had his own debts to repay. The truth unveiled. I worked diligently for about a year, focusing on debt repayment. At that point, my in-laws asked me how much debt remained. If it's been a year, you haven't paid that much, right? At most, maybe $10,000 to $15,000. Well, just to give you an idea, we paid back about $30,000 this year, I explained. So the remainder is roughly $90,000. My in-laws were utterly stunned. What? You paid back that much, Elara? That's amazing. At that pace, you'll finish paying back the loan in about 3 years. If I work hard, I'll be able to pay it off, I replied. Thank you so much. My in-laws cried tears of joy. I thought that if Marcus's parents were this happy, all the hard work was worth it. A few days later, however, I stumbled upon an unexpected situation. I had planned to work overtime that day and informed Marcus I'd be home late. However, work progressed surprisingly smoothly, and many of us had spare time, allowing us to leave on schedule. So, I hurried home as usual, intending to cook dinner for Marcus. But when I opened the front door, I saw my in-laws' shoes. Oh, my in-laws are here, I thought. Assuming they had something to do, I walked towards the living room. Then, I overheard Marcus and his parents talking. You were right to marry that woman, weren't you, Marcus? You did great. I can't believe you managed to get a woman with that much money. When I heard she works for a big company, I was really cautious, and you seduced her well. You should be more grateful. Oh, my. You're one of the people who created that debt. Marcus's father chided him. What? But I'm the one with the least. Marcus protested. What are you talking about? How much did you spend on horse racing? Your gambling is terrible. I get a jackpot once in a while, so there were times when we were in the black. Marcus retorted. How can you be in the black when you owe $150,000, his father scoffed. But at this rate, we'll be able to get out of debt and get back on track. That's really great. And she even remodeled our house. I got a really good wife. Well, I'm going to throw her away after she pays off the debt, Marcus finished, and then he and his parents burst into laughter. I was so stunned I couldn't move from the front door for a while. After calming down slightly, I deliberately made a loud noise as I closed the lock and announced, I'm home, from the front door. When I entered the living room, my in-laws and Marcus greeted me with wide smiles. Oh, Elara, welcome home. Good job, good job. Well then, we're going back to our room. Let's have dinner together again. Mrs. Thorne said cheerfully. I was terrified by their gentle smiles. I had just heard their true conversation. Likewise, Marcus, pretending to be a good husband with a smile on his face, shocked me. I wondered what I had been doing, trying to pay them back. Didn't you say you had to work late today? Marcus asked. Yeah, I finished my work much faster than expected, so I decided to hurry home and cook dinner. He didn't know. I tried my best to act calm until dinner, so Marcus wouldn't realize what I had discovered. Then, when Marcus was taking a bath, I stayed in my room and cried alone. But crying as hard as I could strangely made me want to get even with Marcus and his parents. From then on, I acted quickly. I began preparing for the divorce and steadily made plans for what to do afterward. About 3 months passed. I pretended to be happy and told Marcus that I had paid off his parents' debt. Marcus's eyes widened in disbelief. What? You paid off the debt? That $150,000 was supposed to take roughly 3 years, right? Actually, I have quite a bit of money saved up, I explained calmly. But I was hesitant to pay it all off at once, so I started taking out a little bit from my salary and savings. But we were already below $100,000, and I thought it would be better to pay it all off at once. I see. Then I asked, do you mind if I check, and extended my hand, asking to see his bank book. I showed Marcus the bank book. Oh, it's true. $90,000 was paid all at once. Marcus tried to contain his excitement, but I could see he was itching to get out of there. Wow, Elara, thank you. My parents are going to love this. Marcus buried his face in his hands, feigning tears, but I knew it was all an act. Soon after, his parents also came and thanked me. Thank you so much. I'm so glad I met you, Elara. You're like a godsend. If I hadn't known any of this, I would have surely been happy, having been completely deceived. But I already knew what these people were truly like, and I only acted because I was ready for my plan. The grand reveal. A few days later, Marcus asked to speak with me, looking very serious. What on earth is it? I'm sorry, Elara, but you have to leave me. What? What do you mean? I feigned surprise on purpose. I have a new girlfriend, he declared. I'm going to live here with her, so I'm divorcing you, and you're going to my parents' place. I was genuinely taken aback by Marcus's blunt statement. I knew from eavesdropping earlier that he would leave me once the debt was paid, but I hadn't expected him to openly declare his infidelity. And what did he mean by having me go to his parents' house after he left me? I don't really understand what you mean, I said, tilting my head. Marcus's mood soured. You're not very understanding at all. I don't need you anymore. But as a breadwinner or a housekeeper, I can keep you here. Just then, the front door opened, and my in-laws walked in. Marcus, did you finally tell her? Mrs. Thorne chirped. Yeah, I told her, Marcus replied. Oh, I wish I could have been there for that moment. That's how it is. You can come to our house if you do the chores for us. Of course, we'll charge you rent, though. My in-laws and Marcus laughed at me. They were the worst people ever. Actually, no, I said, a calm smile on my face. It's better than that for me. All of you need to leave. My in-laws' eyes widened at my comment. What are you talking about? Have you forgotten? I can easily pay for the renovation myself. You changed the name of the house to mine. That's why I have the rights to this house. I can decide who to let live in the house and who to kick out. Their faces turned pale. Then, they finally remembered about the title of the house. I watched, dumbfounded, as realization dawned on them. I'm sorry, but you can't live here anymore. If we get divorced, you'll be strangers. My in-laws finally grasped the gravity of the situation, but Marcus, not wanting to be outdone, retorted, but you took over our debt and paid it in full. You're the one who's losing money. If we had no debt, we could at least afford a new place to live. That's true, thank you for letting us live in a nice house while you pay our debts. My in-laws and Marcus said all this, so I decided to drop the final bombshell. I'm sorry, but I didn't pay off the rest of the $90,000 debt. What? No, but you had money missing from your bank book. Marcus stammered. That was just a separate account that I created and moved money around so that the debt hasn't changed. The $90,000 is still there. I just haven't had the collection agencies come yet because I've been paying large sums of money continuously, but I think it's time for them to come. So, you are responsible for paying the rest. Marcus and his in-laws froze, their mouths agape. Then I delivered the final warning. Marcus, you told me you were having an affair, so you should pay the alimony. I'll charge your partner for the affair too. Oh, no. She went out with me even though she's beautiful because I own a house and have money. If they charge me alimony, she'll dump me. Marcus wailed. I don't care about any of that. No, I apologize. Please don't leave us. Marcus, terrified of being dumped by his mistress, and his parents, terrified of being dumped by me. They were truly selfish and despicable parents and children in every way. I have nothing to do with you people anymore. No matter what you say, I have also put this house on the market. I will also have you pay your debt of $60,000 that I paid on your behalf through my lawyer. The in-laws froze, stunned by the loss of everything they had. I then demanded a divorce and alimony from Marcus through my lawyer. I also demanded alimony from his mistress. And I demanded $60,000 from my former in-laws for what I had paid them. Justice served and new beginnings. That renovated house actually sold for about $200,000. It was in a good location, and a family was looking for a duplex, so we got a good price. I had effectively paid $160,000, the $60,000 debt plus the $100,000 renovation cost, but gained $40,000 as a result. In addition, I received alimony from my ex-husband and his mistress, which was a very positive outcome. On top of that, I managed to get a partial payment of $60,000 from my former in-laws. I was the one who benefited the most from this situation. I believe this was a fair outcome, as the emotional damage I suffered was severe, making me distrustful of people. As for me, with my significant savings, I had been learning about investments to pay off the debt as quickly as possible. Since I had a substantial amount to begin with, I invested a few tens of thousands of dollars. I found that my assets had grown considerably in about a year. Plus, I had received a raise, so my income was quite good. This allowed me to take such a drastic step because I had saved a lot of money. I was the biggest beneficiary, while my former in-laws were back in debt and lost their house. To be honest, I think they deserved it, as they truly defrauded me. People like that should face the consequences. For once, I should reflect on what happened to me and develop a better eye for people. From now on, I will continue to save and grow my assets so I can live a luxurious life in my old age. And I want to make many happy memories with people I can truly trust. I hope this reimagined story provides the narrative you were looking for. Let me